Good afternoon, everybody. We are so pleased today to have Stacey McCalfe in our office. Stacey is a nonprofit executive and community leader serving as the executive director and CEO of Morven Park, a major nonprofit historic estate in Leesburg. Morven Park welcomes more than 450,000 visitors annually and include the Morven Park International Equestrian Center and the historic Davis Mansion. And I would tell you, if you've never been there, you need to go, and especially this weekend, you need to go there. Before joining Morven Park, Stacey worked in nonprofit healthcare, serving as director of Western Region Government and Community Relations for Inova Health System, Northern Virginia leading nonprofit healthcare provider. Her nonprofit and community involvement is extensive. She has served or continued to serve with organizations including Friends of Loudoun Mental Health as advisory board, 100 Women Strong member of Loudoun County School Business Partnership Executive Council, immediate past chair of the board of directors for 2 years consecutive, and she's the only one, by the way, as I know the Loudoun Chamber of Commerce, long-term member and leader in public policy initiative, Loudoun County Chamber of Commerce. Former board member, YMCA of Loudoun County, former board member at Lansdowne Conservancy, former board member at Ryan Barter Foundation, and Morven Park Board Trustee prior to becoming the CEO of Morven Park. McCalfe is also active in regional economic development and civic leadership, serving on the Loudoun Economy Development Advisory Commission. She is graduated from Penn State University and completed the Harvard Business Leadership Program for Lending Transformation. I am honored to call her a mentor and a close friend to me personally. Stacey, thank you for being here. I know this is your busiest time. I appreciate you, and I'm so happy that I was able to steal you for 30 minutes today. Can you tell us a little bit, I know we did talk about the bio, but can you tell us a little bit, how did you end up at Morven Park? What is the history behind that?
It's a great story. And first of all, thank you so much for having me today. It is absolutely an honor to be here. So I really thank you, and hi everybody. So my story is really great because what we were talking about before we went live is that I'm a runner, and my running club, the Entrepreneurial Running Club, has running routes through Morven Park. So for years and years and years, I just used to run through Morven Park, and again, it was always like my happy place. It was always just a happy place. But you know, it was funny because we always thought it was like our private place to run because there wasn't a lot of people there or anything. And then when I was getting married in 2017, my husband and I got married at Morven Park because I was like, what better place to be there than at my happy place? And it became his happy place too. And right after that, right after our marriage, I joined the board of directors or the board of trustees. And again, it was like so great because I was here part supporting this nonprofit organization. It's my happy place, the place I got married, and everything was great. And during COVID, our executive director, who we all adored, ended up resigning. And so what they did is they put me in charge of the search committee. So I went through, you know, I had a subset of our trustees, and I went through a bunch of things like, what type of leader do we want for Morven Park? And everybody kept coming back with somebody who's integrated into the community, somebody who understands how we fit into Loudoun County and beyond. And it was funny, as I was listening to all of that, I started thinking, wow, I want to do that job. Maybe not I can do that job, but I want to do that job. So we were on a big Zoom screen, it was during COVID, and I said to them, all right, everybody, I need to recuse myself from being the head of the search committee. And they said, why? And they're like, you know, are you busy at work? You know, is there another strain of COVID coming? And I said, no, I'm going to apply for the job. And you all need to do your job, but I'm going to apply. And I then clicked I left the Zoom meeting. That was my drop the mic moment. And lucky for me, they hired me. So that's how I got to be in the role I am.
It was probably hard for you to leave Inova too, correct?
Oh.
I mean, how long you did work with them?
Yeah, I worked with them for over 8 years.
Wow.
And Inova Lab and Hospital is always going to be my hospital home. It always has been, it always will be. So I stay really integrated with them too. And again, it was a tough choice, but it was one of those, I always say that I went from very clinical clean to I'm always kind of dirty in nature.
Yeah, and beautiful park there. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about different programs you have. I know that Morven Park, you are always busy, guys. I mean, it's a variety of things over there for everybody. So talk to us about programs.
Well, thank you. And let me just kind of back up a little bit because in order to really fall in love with Morven Park and to understand all of our programs, you have to understand how this beautiful place, the history of it, and how this beautiful place became an asset in our community. And basically, the last owners that lived at Morven Park was former Virginia Governor Westmoreland Davis and his wife Marguerite. And they lived there from 1903 to 1942. And during that time, he served between 1918 and 1922, so they were down in Richmond, but the rest of the time they were here in Loudoun County. They did travel extensively, but for the most part, very dedicated to the farming community, dedicated to education. They were avid equestrians. He was, again, he was in the hunt, and in fact, a master of foxhounds. And so when he passed away in 1942, his wife Marguerite wanted to really establish the Westmoreland Davis Memorial Foundation, which owns an opera. Again, his legacy was being respected and everybody knew about the governor, but then she also wanted to make sure that the property was open and accessible to everyone. So first and foremost, when we I'll talk about programs, but the park is opened, it's a private park, 1,000 acres, open daily from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the programs that we have all really relate back to the Davises, so, or most of them do. So for example, civic education, very, very important. So education in Loudoun County education was really important to both of them. And obviously him being a governor, so civic education. And so we have the Morven Park Center for Civic Impact, which provides free civics lessons to Loudoun County students K through 12. And what we're teaching them is that their voice matters, even at the littlest levels, right? All the way up to seniors. And that they need to be the ones to make the impact, that they can make an impact. You can't just look at your community and see problems and expect other people to solve them. So we're teaching them, how do you make an impact? How do you, attack those challenges that you see in the community? So that's one. We also have the 246 Years Project database, which is a social justice initiative. It's a genealogical database that sets out to honor the millions of enslaved men, women, and children who, were enslaved across the United States, but mainly here in Loudoun County. So we started off small in Loudoun County, and we're building that database. But right now, our database has just under 5,000 various different documents in it, and that has generated over 38,000 names. So again, we're starting to take, those documents, and it's an ever-growing database. It's like, how people might think of Ancestry.com. You can kind of jump into the database and you can research your ancestors, and it's really growing, and we're connecting names, we're connecting family members, we're starting to learn what those stories are and who those people are. And again, we started here in Loudoun County in partnership with the clerk of the circuit court and other historic sites. So that's another one of our programs. And then we also, across our property, on the other side of our property, we have an internationally recognized equestrian center.
Yay!
So yes, so we, kind of starting as of last week, we had our spring horse trials, or 2 weeks ago, and that kind of kicks off our season. And we have something going on every single, month until probably November timeframe.
And you have something with leadership. write something? Is that the program specific for
Yes,
the
thank
leadership?
you. Thank you for
I know
asking.
that you have, because I look for it every year, that one.
Yeah, so thank you for asking. So our Morven Park Center for Civic Impact, as I said, they work with Loudoun County students K through 12, but when kids aren't in school during the summer months, we have the Youth Leadership Program. And we work in partnership with Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
And provide, so if you have a rising 7th grader all the way up through senior, we have a program for you. We're open right now. In fact, we're open right now for applications. So you can go ahead and check out our website and definitely see, how to apply if you have those students that would be interested in our summer program.
Well, and you do all these programs in the facility instead of in different building? Stacey, or
So our civics program, sometimes we're in the classrooms.
yeah.
Sometimes we're having field trips that come out to Morven Park. We also have digitized lessons. We've digitized all of our lessons so teachers can go ahead and educators can take those lessons and make them their own within their classroom. And then our youth leadership programs in the summer, we host at Morven Park, but then we also host at other sites throughout the community. They go and visit the Community Foundation of Loudoun and Northern Fauquier County, and we're very integrated with the Claude Moore builders and all of that. So yeah,
I love that.
yeah, it's great.
From the time you start with Morven Park, is that something? I know, you basically been for all these years there. I'm sure you're the best of the best, probably. You've been with them for a long time.
Over 5 years, yeah.
Is this something you did accomplish? You will say that I never forget that I did accomplish this.
I think, that's a good question. I think for me, I really took kind of the history that I explained earlier. I really took, I've taken Marguerite Davis's wishes and they sit in my heart and my soul like every single day. So having the park open and accessible and having people be able to come and enjoy this amazing happy place. Like, remember I told you when I was running through, like when our friends used to run through, we thought that like it was our place, right? And I know other people throughout the years, if they came in, they kind of thought it was a secret place. And I didn't want Morven Park to be a secret anymore. I want Morven Park, again, to be known so that people can take
Well, you took
advantage
it
of it.
internationally, and we're going to talk about the event because you took it internationally.
Yes.
Talk to us about this great event you do every year and how it was international last year.
Yeah, so over on the equestrian side, we focus on many different disciplines of equestrian sport. One of our, the thing that we've grown and really grown on that, as you said, that big stage, which happened last fall, was our Morven Park International, which has then added on to it is the U.S. Equestrian Open of Eventing Final. So basically what happens is at the levels that these equestrians are competing, it's Olympic level. And it's what I like to call eventing is like the triathlon of equestrian sports. So for those of you who don't know about eventing, there's dressage. There is cross country where you're going across the property, but you're also jumping over what we call fences. And then there is show jump. And again, that's in the arena and it's precision, it's all of that. And it usually does come down to, one pole falling in the arena. But what we did by being the host site of the U.S. Open and the eventing final is brought it onto that big stage where all of a sudden equestrian sport is being telecast on ESPN. And it's being, broadcast live stream where the goal, again, in working with the USCF, the goal is to really get people inspired about equestrian sport, eventing in our case, and bringing those equestrians up through the ranks and giving them the glory that other sports have. So I think that that's a very exciting thing, is to, especially for the horses and the equestrians, because they get their time in the sun, like basketball, like football, like any other sports, tennis, hockey, all of that. So we're trying to raise that so that people can enjoy it too, and people can understand it. So I think by having that at Morven Park, we really then started really focusing on bringing in spectators.
And educating.
Yes, and educating, right? That it's cool to come and see this, because sometimes you think like, ooh, I'm not an equestrian. I wouldn't know what to do. And so we started educating people to bring them in so that they too can fall in love with the sport.
Yeah, and it was very successful event because we were there.
Yeah.
Talk to us about different events. I know you do a lot during the year, and the big one is the polo.
Yes,
polo at the park.
Yes, on this cooler April day, I am dressed in my polo outfit, because polo in the park has become a real staple at Morven Park. And basically what it is, it's arena polo. So it is 3 horses on 3 horses inside of an arena. And it's like, I like to describe it as hockey on horses. So it's fast paced. It's, there's 4 periods per match. There's 2 matches a night and 4 periods per match, which are called chukkers, which is kind of fun. It's like chukker 1, chukker 2, And basically what we've been able to really do, we're in our 9th year now, and it really is a family-friendly, fun event. So what happens is it's 4 Saturday evenings in June. We skip the first Saturday in July and then have the other 3 Saturdays. And it's a Saturday evening where you can load up your car and for $45 buy a car pass, pack up food, beverages, bring your picnic, everything, lay it all out. Or if you don't want to cook or even buy any beverages, we always have a Loudoun County wine on tap, and we also have food trucks. And again, it's just to bring your family in to just have a fun night. And we say fun night under the lights. And we also call it the best party in Loudoun. So
yes,
it definitely has gotten that. But the best part for me, I think, is because I love it. I love watching the fast-pacedness. I love watching the game itself and the matches. But for me, when I turn around, because I've got a rail box down in front and center, and when I turn around and I look up on the berm, which is the hill, and I see everybody just having a great time, and I see kids running around, meeting new friends like what I did in the 70s, like you become best friends with the person over here, right? And just seeing that just warms my heart. And as I said, I think it's just a great event. So tickets are going to go on sale, or car passes go on sale on May 1st. And then you can go to polointhepark.org to get tickets there. And we also have some tailgates that are also available there. So those are $215. So we'll have those available May 1st too. But again, it's just fun. It's summertime fun.
Yeah. Do you think polo at the park is the most successful event?
I think it is. I think it is from bringing the community together. So we have various different events at Morven Park, but I do think that really embraces that spirit of family-friendly fun. I know I keep saying that. Community. Just seeing who's there. I mean, even our sponsors. So our sponsors play each other, so it's great. And Polo in the Park, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that it's Salesforce. It's presented by Salesforce, but we have our gold sponsors, which are AMJ Financial. We've also got Bank of Clark. We have Climatic Heating and Cooling. We have Hotels at Sea. We also have Magna Law and Partners in Care. So it's just really fun because you see those companies playing each other. So that's added fun to it.
It is so cool. We're still on the beginning of the year. Any plan to accomplish this year, or maybe on 2027? Anything new coming up, or?
I don't have anything new to report now, but I will say that the U.S. Equestrian Open of Eventing that we talked about earlier, that is 3 years. We had last year, but we have the next 2 years that we are hosting that. And that's a big deal because it's the lead-in to the LA Olympics in 2028.
Oh, wow.
So the people that you are seeing competing, the equestrians that you are seeing competing at Morven Park are competing to get that spot in the LA Olympics. And what's also great, I keep talking about these upper levels, but we have lower international levels. So again, you're watching young horses, you're watching young equestrians, you're watching them rise above the ranks. Like I often say, like our, they call them stars. So it's like the 1 star, the 2 star, the 3 star, right? that, and watching them, like, I'm like, these are going to be the Olympians, you know, of our future. Like, my kids and grandkids will see them, you know.
Yeah.
So again, so I think that's another great thing about that. So that's probably our big announcement. What I didn't say about polo and just about any event that you come to at Morven Park is that proceeds from those events really fuel our programmatic work. So again, it kind of seems like, oh, I'm coming to polo in the park and I'm paying that, you know, $45 for the card pass, but proceeds from that and sponsors and real, you know, and all that, they go to support our civics program, are keeping our property preserved and protected for everyone. So it's cool.
It's cool. And I want to mention too that the beautiful park it is also, there is a lot of wedding pictures happen there. Baby showers happen there. It was from my daughter.
Yeah.
Baby showers happen there. Event happened there.
Yes.
I mean, it's everything. I mean, because it is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And like you said, you call it happy place, and I'm sure it is happy place for a lot of people. I mean, walking.
I always say hiking, biking,
Oh,
walking,
yeah.
running, walking your dog as long as they're on a leash, because we pay attention to Loudoun County leash laws. And so it just becomes this place, and you're right, we have an active, you know, so we have rental events, both on the equestrian side and also on the historic side. We said weddings, we also are host in May. We are the host site for the Ride to End Alzheimer's, the DC chapter. So things like that. We also have cross country. I always like to say our 2-legged races and our 4-legged, you know, events. And we also have cross country, you know, student athletes that compete across the property, and you know, people come and take their pictures, prom pictures, things like that.
And also the holidays.
Yes.
We can't forget the Harry Potter
Yes.
and all the great events you do around Christmas. Anything happening this year or
Nothing to report
for
yet.
this year?
Yeah,
Okay,
nothing
we
to
can't
report
report.
yet.
We have to wait.
Everybody
We have
always
to
asks,
wait.
everybody always asks me about that. And then, you know, with something that, you know, you talked about when you opened up, you said you should come this weekend. If you have not taken a tour of the Davis Mansion, you need to take a tour of the Davis Mansion.
I do it every year. Even it is, I always learn something new every year.
It's amazing because, like, as I said early on, it's like Marguerite Davis left us this whole property to open up to the public, right? What I didn't really stress is that inside that mansion, they traveled a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of their collection.
A lot of history,
Inside of that mansion is their whole collection. It's as if, I always say, it's as if Marguerite took her personal belongings and then handed the keys to us and said, invite your friends in, let them use it. And so when you go on a tour of the Davis Mansion, not only are you seeing their amazing collection, and it's a collection from around the world, she bought you know, her collection was just things she liked. So it wasn't like it was a curated thing. She just bought what she liked. So you get to see that, but then our tour also dives into the history of the house, the history of the collection, the history of the life and times that were happening as this house was expanding, as this house became what we see now. And it's very interesting. So we talk about like what's happening in life and times around Loudoun County, around, you know, obviously the state of Virginia, because Governor Westmoreland Davis, he was governor of Virginia, but then also talk about like what was going on in the times. So yeah.
Beautiful.
It's a great, and we always have for tours, they're $16 a person, but 17 and under are always free. So that's really good. And then obviously our members have free access. Yes,
they have membership, which is always, it's worth it.
Yes.
It's worth it to be the membership because you can go anytime and walk and everything you need to do. To the audience and business owners listening right now, Stacey, can you tell us a little bit, how can we help and how can we be involved with this beautiful history?
Okay. Well, thank you for asking that question too, because as a nonprofit, we always use donors and people who, you know, step up to support all of our programs, support just even if you come to that property, you see how absolutely stunning and gorgeous it is. That is by, you know, that is from the effort of my whole team, and obviously to preserve and protect a property like that, it does cost money. But I think for your audience, I would recommend that you come out to our events, you check out our website often, you come to Polo in the Park, you come out in the fall for like a weekend in the country and see our equestrian sport. You come on tour of the Davis Mansion, and I think most importantly, I think your entry in and something fun to do is become, you mentioned it earlier, a Morven Park member.
Yeah.
Because I truly mean, like, membership has its benefits, and we have such great benefits, and our concierge and our team is just there to support and embrace all of our members. We have, there's the member discounts, there's invitations to special events, but and then we also have these monthly lunch and learns where you are learning from the expertise of my team. They're coming in and they are doing these like hour-long sessions for our members about everything from architecture to farming on the property to the fees that are on the property to the collection, and you're just learning the history, the 246 Years project I mentioned earlier. So it's really a great thing to do, and I call our members our park protectors, and it's kind of your best way to get into Morven Park and to understand like everything that awaits you.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to your staff. I have been working with them for years, and customer service excellent, and they're awesome. They're awesome. So you're lucky to have them too.
I am very lucky. I always tell everybody my whole leadership motto is always like, they shine, I shine, and oh my gosh, I should be glowing because my team is the most amazing team ever, and they come to work every single day with, again, Morven Park, Marguerite, all of that in their heart and soul, and they really want to make sure that Morven Park is everybody else's happy place. So they're just rock stars. They're amazing. I know I'm very blessed.
Yeah. Stacey, thank you very much for your time, and I want, on behalf probably to all the listeners, we want to tell you thank you for keeping the happy place beautiful and clean. That's every time I walk there, I never saw anything on the ground or beautiful place. Thank you for keeping up with all that. I mean, it's a huge place, and good luck this year with everything you're doing. I know you have a lot on your plate every month, and I will see you soon over there.
You will, and I hope to see all of you out in Morven Park. Again, we are open 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily, and just come out and take in all the beauty and just take in the quiet or take in the noise, whatever you want to do. There's something for everybody there. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you, Stacey, for your time today.
And thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.